Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in on today's live stream. It's going to be Premier League news related. If you've got any talking points, topics that you'd like to discuss, if you are watching live or on the repeat, always do get involved in the comment section below. Not just me, but all the fellow subscribers on this great channel will be interacting with every single one of you as well. Hope you're all having a lovely weekend anyway, everyone. Look after yourselves. Try to enjoy a bit of the sunshine wherever you are in the UK or wherever you are around the globe anyway. As you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we're discussing 4 talking points, but we could go into a different tangent as well anyway. But we will be discussing Taki To Monaco. We got the more or less the official confirmation of his move to Monaco. An article which has supposedly broke anyway over the last 2 hours in relation to Cristiano Ronaldo, what that could mean to him going towards Stamford Bridge. Thomas Tuchel and the Chelsea new owners they're not wasting time in reality of bringing top talent into the bridge anyway, even though they did lose a couple of great first team players in their ranks on a free transfer. But we'll speak about that as well. Obviously, Kalvin Phillips, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is any City fans or Leeds fans anyway, your thoughts on that deal? It's an interesting, really intriguing in how you do feel of non-teams from outside the top 6. I've seen people commenting saying that Kalvin Phillips will be, it'll be not wasted, obviously, but with the introduction of 5 sub rule for going into this season now, that a lot of the top 4, top 6 teams will be very much rotating with ease now in reality, and it'll stagnate in reality the lower down teams within the Premier League, and obviously the top clubs, as they always have done, even if that's Europe or in the Premier League as well, they tend to cherry pick the best players out of a certain crop of players within a team anyway. So we'll speak about that, what that means for not just Manchester City, but in terms of their strengthening. For me, it's strengthened them massively. I want to know your thoughts as well, and what will that mean for them going into next season? And obviously, we'll speak about the fee and everything, and then we'll speak about obviously the main one, obviously. Not the main one, the Gareth Bale one, to a potential, more or less has been confirmed to the MLS. So fair play to Gareth. America has got a lot of golf courses, so we all know what Gareth be doing in the States anyway. He could literally be playing with one foot, even though he does tend to score a lot of goals with his left foot. Could probably walk onto a major league soccer pitch anyway with a golf club, and you wouldn't even bat an eyelid anyway. So, well, let me know your thoughts. If you haven't already done so, if it really would mean a lot to the channel if you could drop a like on the video. We just help YouTube algorithm anyway. And if you are watching on the repeat, get involved in all the stories, as I said at the top of the show. And put your bell notification on as well. So we will be continuing to go out at 9 p.m. continuously up until the new season as well. If there's any change to the scheduling throughout the week, I will notify everyone on the YouTube pages and Facebook pages as well anyway, or on Twitter if you do follow me anyway. But I really do appreciate you all tuning in. Most importantly, you are the main people, and as always. But get to Tom's comment as well. All right, Tom, how are we doing, fella? Jack, much better, Gary. Much better. Not like I leave me room anyway, but thankfully he had 2 negative results yesterday. He's in Wales with his mate in a caravan. Dad, if you're watching, hope you're enjoying it. A bit of peace. But thank you very much for your concern, Gary, and every single one of you. Absolute bloody legends. Most importantly, hoping every single one of you, your family and everyone are looking after a safe and well is the priority. But hello, Jack, and fellow Reds. How you doing, Avens? Let me know what you've been up to this week, everyone. Have you been out with the family or not? You been on little trips, or you been bevying in the garden? If you've been allowed to, if you've not been in work anyway. And just thoughts on obviously the 4 main stories. But in terms of Steve, nice one, mate, for tuning in. Thinking of you fellow as well. I know you were on Jay's stream anyway, mate. But if you need anything, echo what Jay said as well. Always here, mate. We're all one big family. Look after each other anyway, mate. How you doing, Andrew? Hello, lads. How are you today? Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I'm sound, mate. Health is wealth anyway. As long as everyone is safe, that's the most important thing anyway. Football is sometimes secondary to a lot of things in life, as it is anyway, as it should be. Hi, Jack. Yes, Phillips is a strange one, Roddy. I'm always jumping the gun here. But there you go, that. Hi, Jack. Yes, Phillips is a strange one. He is a starter for England and a starter for many other teams, but you can only see him as a sub for City. Strange as he seems to have a good future including for the England national team. Yeah, 100% agree with you there, Rory. And I can understand where City are coming from. Obviously, replacing Fabinho. It's amazing when you can spend 40, 50 odd million pound on a backup DM, innit? Great. But yeah, replacing quality with even more quality. Obviously, for Fernandinho, sorry. What's going from, but obviously, Rodri, he's probably one of the best DMs in world football at the minute. Tremendous player for Manchester City, as we've seen over the last couple of seasons anyway, in reality. But we'll speak about that, Roy. But thank you very much for your comment, mate. I think a lot of everyone within the chat anyway would fully agree with what you've had to say there. In reality, Sebastian, how you doing, mate? We'll win. We will win a cup, darling. Well, yes. Now we need Zlatan to go back to LA Galaxy so we could have Chiquitito Hernandez and Zlatan Ibrahimovic versus Vela and Bale. I was going to comment on that, Eamons, anyway. It's from the rag. Well, it's been linked, so that's why I'm not going to be commenting on that story, everyone. So would be best advised. Google it on YouTube, and the article comes from the rag anyway, or gets quoted from the shite that it is anyway. I'm not even going to mention the newspaper. So I would have been speaking about it if it was from like the Telegraph or something, Eamon, but don't give it the time of day in reality, mate. Obviously, people are right to question the Salah contract, but from what the article comes from, it's the rag. So yeah, Eamon, don't look too much into it because it's from the absolute wankers that they are anyway. So pardon my French. The official IMB, hello, Yusuf. We'll speak about you and saying Cristiano Ronaldo moving to your Chelsea side, mate. That you're bloody giddy, aren't you? When you're seeing the headlines from the Athletic tonight, mate. So let me thoughts on that. Keep to the end of the season. Salah maybe to sign a new contract. Yeah, Mark. In reality, obviously, we will do, and quite rightly, we will speak about Salah. And quite rarely, a lot of people are speaking about Salah because it is going to be an interesting one in relation to his contract. But we've been speaking about this Salah contract for what best part of like 24 months, not just every single Liverpool fan or around the world who've been going to the pub with your mates or family members. We've been like, we don't want Salah to be rumbling on. It was bad enough the back end of the season. We had Mane at least cooling down the interest. He was as professional as he possibly could be before the final. But then when you go into like 6 months into next season, Salah's not signed a contract. You just know the articles are going to be absolutely rife of absolute nonsense in reality from every single newspaper publication anyway, just trying to drum up. And that's, if you're Jurgen Klopp and if you just, us as fans anyway, you don't want to be for any club in reality. You don't want to be going, especially if you are, say, 5-6 points ahead of a team in the Premier League, and you don't want that story hanging over your heads of, oh, what about Salah? Salah doesn't want that, but if he does, and Liverpool could, it's another whole story in itself, everyone, but interesting times. I'm hoping it is sorted before the beginning of the season because I can't be bothered with, and I don't think any of us can be with the next 12 months of Salah's the ultimate professional. I think he will put the performances on the pitch, but ideally from a coaching point of view and as fans, that's the last thing we want. We just can't be bothered. We've had 12 months of it, as I said, 24 months. Same thing every single bloody night and day, really. Wake up, oh, Salah. Casemiro, Fabinho, Kimmich, Rice are all better than Rodri. Interesting that Sebastian. Obviously, Casemiro. I thought Casemiro, Sebastian chat as well. I thought he was a lot more older. than he actually is. I think he's like 30, 31 years old anyway, isn't he? So, yeah, Casemiro, he's been around the block anyway. He's won countless European Cups. Fabinho, Kimmich, all different, I think, in terms of interesting point there, Sebastian. I think all of us watch football differently in different aspects. That's the beauty of football, and when you do watch a team and you like certain players more than you actually do, that's the beauty of football and supporting a team as well. But I get to all your comments as well, but we'll get straight into the first couple of articles as well. As I said, if you haven't already done so, really would help the channel out massively. If you could drop a like on the video, most importantly, absolute bloody legends. And as I said, hopefully you're all looking after one another as well. But we'll start off. We'll speak about Taki Minamino in reality as well. We did know that, let's make this a bit bigger if it can. We knew Taki was moving this summer, and we spoke about it already on the channel this week. But as you can see there, everyone, this is coming from Fabrizio Romano a bit before. Taki Minamino deal completed, and he's joining AS Monaco. Permanent move from Liverpool, now confirmed by Philippe Clement. Probably butchered that name. Apologies for any French native speakers. As you know, my French is my first dialect anyway. We're really happy. He was quoted as saying he was our priority. Obviously, he's quite well up. I think he might be the president of Monaco anyway, or chief executive anyway. But it's interesting. We are happy, and he was our priority. And as we were speaking about this week, Liverpool will receive 50 million plus 3 million in add-ons in terms of euros. So I think that's the exchange rate, Christ. It's like going to Asda and cashing in euros after you've been on Aldi. But I think that works out in around 14, 15 million pounds. Apologies if that's incorrect. But chat, let me know your thoughts on Taki. We'll speak about this in a couple of weeks. Well, the week coming anyway, a couple of weeks coming anyway. But it's been difficult. We spoke about this already this week on the channel, didn't we? For me, I think it's good for him to get a first team regular spot. In reality, he's a Japanese international. He himself wants to be starting, but he himself knows that he's not good enough. He's not going to get ahead of Salah, not going to get ahead of Diaz. Most importantly, he's not going to get ahead of our new Uruguayan striker anyway. So it'll be interesting. But I think if Liverpool can recoup 15 million, make a 7.58 million pound profit on a player in which we brought in less than 2-3 years ago anyway, I'd class that as still good business, would you say, chat? In reality, let's get to all your comments as well before we do move on to the next story as well. Ronaldo should just pack his bags and leave for PSG so we could have a Neymar left wing, Ronaldo strike, Mbappe right wing, Messi cam. That would be game over. Saying that, Sebastian, I think a lot of us did say, well, a lot of football purists would have said, oh, Messi would have walked into that PSG team. But we've seen it. Unless PSG sort out that midfield, in terms of, similar with Liverpool, in terms of how Liverpool's midfield is geared towards Liverpool's attacking players. The midfield players for Liverpool, and similar to PSG, if they can sort that out, get the right combination. Verratti, probably one of my favourite midfielders. Him and Barella. Tell you what, it's off the back of obviously having Pirlo when I was a kid anyway, they've learned from the master himself. But Verratti massively needs, say, a Kante behind him. I didn't foresee Ginny being a success at PSG, but in reality, you take a back seat and you're like, oh, potentially Ginny could have been the answer. But no, it doesn't help when your left wing, your right wing, and your striker aren't coming back to help out the defence. And even if PSG did get Ronaldo, you couldn't play all four of them. Would you agree with Sebastian, or let me know anyway as well? Andrew, there's more talk of Otavio Porto apparently expecting to put Liverpool to put a bid in this week of 34 million after they rejected 26 million bids from Leeds last week. In all honesty, Andrew, I am not got a Scooby-Doo on who he is. Not going to sit here and say that I know who he is. But if he's from Porto, mate, as I said, do you try and not delve into all the rumours because you will get lost. And it's the beauty of the transfer window, and sometimes the negatives. A lot of clubs and a lot of journos outside of England tend to just throw Liverpool's name into an article. It gets you clicks. It gets you more traction in reality in terms of social media. So Liverpool's name in the title of any article boosts the numbers instantly, because I'll be talking about it. All the Liverpool channels as well, and all the sports channels as well in England will be speaking about it. So yeah, Andrew, if that's correct, fair play. But I've not really seen much of him. I don't even know who he is in reality. Jack, who scores more, Mane or Darwin in their first season? Oof, that's an interesting question, Gary. Let everyone let you know your thoughts on what Gary said there. I'm gonna say Darwin Núñez, mainly for the fact of Bayern haven't got a Trent going down the right wing anyway. Well, playing full back. I know they got Alphonso Davies going down that left hand flank, bombing down the left. But if Mane does get the service that Lewandowski has done for the last 5, 6, 7 years at Bayern Munich, then saying that I go Mane, just for the sheer fact if they do make Mane their number 9 or forward thinking striker, then I'd say Mane. But my heart's going Darwin. So my head's going Mane, my heart's going Darwin. So yeah, I think Mane, the way Bayern are set up, similar to Liverpool as well. But both teams create so many chances throughout the season, whether it be in the Champions League as well, and obviously in their native league as well. So it's not both players will be feeding off a lot of great chances. Connor says it's your fault you're both streaming at the same time, Jack. Oh, it's not good enough, that mark, is it? That naughty. I'll tell you what, I did ask Connor if he was coming on, but nah, he's not coming on. Yeah, happy about Ronaldo, but he'll probably not sign. Yusuf, yeah, we'll speak about Ronaldo a bit in the back end of the show as well, mate. Obviously, with Taki gone and Divock gone, it would help getting another attacker for cup games as well. It would be interesting to see. We'll do a lot of shows already in the lead up to the season, won't we? Everyone in reality, how would you deal with obviously the cup games and who plays in those games? Yeah, not talking about yeah, we'll have words anyway after this show. But as I said, we've got to do content at certain times as well. Minamino and Eddie left. Does this mean Kay Gordon could play a lot? Sebastian, 100%, mate. I think we'll see a lot more playing time anyway. Got absolute bloody legends, Mark. I appreciate it. Every single one of you that can just continue to tune in. Absolute legends. He has to be replaced, Jack, as well. Big up Niall as well. It was a great sign. Did a brilliant at Aberdeen. Yeah, definitely. Now we spoke about that last week, didn't we, mate? Thank you for tuning in. It's a strange time, Jack. Hard to what we are going to look like formation-wise next season. One thing for certain, things are going to things are going to be radically change up at the effing Reds. Tom, yeah, it's going to be interesting to least, especially Liverpool now starting with an out-and-out number 9. First thing we haven't had since Torres and Suarez, really. We've not really replaced Andy Carroll wasn't that player. Benteke wasn't that player. And even Mane, you wouldn't technically class as a number 9. He was more of a left-sided winger, wasn't he? But we put him through the middle. It worked in certain games, but it wasn't your most ideal out-and-out number 9 through the middle. But Darwin Núñez is that clinical finisher. So it's exciting times, mate. It'll be intriguing to see. And I think he will hit the ground running, everyone. I think we spoke about this, haven't we? While signing Porto players could be a good move as well. Barella in midfield with Naby would be sound, Gary. You know, I think all of it, me and you, a lot of us, Barella, you only have to go back. I think it was a good year or year and a half anyway on my channel. I did prioritise Barella as one of, if not one of Liverpool's priority last. Yeah, it was a good 2. If you go back on the channel, it was a good year and a half, 2 years ago anyway. We spoke about midfield reinforcements as well, where Liverpool, and we're still talking about midfield reinforcements. Good, top tier level reinforcements as well. Who do you think we will sign as another red? Thank you very much for tuning in, Daz, as well. Absolute legends. Hope you're keeping well, mate. Thank you for tuning in. I'm hoping that it's Daz. I'd love, as Gary just mentioned there, Barella. But it's very heavily dependent on what a lot of the clubs do in reality in the transfer window. We'll speak about obviously the ramifications in reality of what Kalvin Phillips means for Man City going to next season. But for me, I don't see us signing someone straight away, Daz, but potentially if someone does go in for similar with Diaz with Liverpool and Tottenham in January, if someone does go after a Liverpool top priority, a player that Liverpool were potentially going to go for next summer, and something changes within obviously his availability of that, i.e. that whoever that player is, I think Liverpool won't sit in the hands and they'll react in the right way and will go out and sign a player anyway. Because the money is there, it just means taking away the budget from next season anyway. But Daz, I don't know her name, Daz, but I think if it comes to it, Liverpool will potentially get, especially we do move out Taki Minamino out the football club as well, and we do move out a couple of, we've already lost Divock Origi on a free to AC Milan, so free enough of places, obviously. Ramsey coming in at right back, but ideally he's not your top tier transfer as well. But I wish he had a crystal ball, Daz, as well. But this is why we love speaking about transfers as well. I just can't wait for the new season to start anyway, mate. I know we have a lot of good players coming up, but not really ready yet as well, Mark. And as we've seen, if you're good enough and you're old enough, well, it doesn't matter about your age. We've seen with Trent, with Jurgen Klopp bringing in Trent from a very early age. He was probably the biggest prospect coming through the academy at the age of 15, 16, 17. He used to talk of Liverpool's academy. Everyone, even Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, when they were in the first team, even when Trent was very young, though Carragher and Gerrard were speaking about Trent from a very early age. If they knew this lad, he had the right tools and the right attitude as well. But yeah, we've got a lot of great young players coming in, Mark, and there's no better managers we know to very much nurture all this talent and give them an opportunity as well. We really could do with another midfielder. It looks like we're not doing any more business. Amons, yeah, it would heavily depend if Liverpool. I know Jurgen Klopp has been on record over the last 12 months as saying that he doesn't see a world where Alex Oxlade Chamberlain goes. But if a bid did come in for Ox, say 15, 10 million, and Liverpool were not losing him on a free next summer, I think potentially we could get Ox's wages off the bill as well. As I said, certain things within transfers and clubs and players do become available. We'll have to watch this space really. As well, Gary's gone with the 4-3 formation. Will stay the same. Nunez will score loads of goals. Salah on the right, Nunez in the 9 advanced, and Diaz on the left. Not too bad, that Gary, is it? It's exciting times as well. Jota, we haven't even bloody mentioned Jota or Bobby Firmino to that mix as well. How you doing, Dan? Absolute bloody legends. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you for tuning in, as always, fella. Pretty sure you've been enjoying the sunshine and Merseyside, mate. I know we've only had about 2-3 good days anyway, everyone. And if anyone's gone to Glastonbury, look after yourselves, have a good time. But obviously are enjoying Glasgow as well. Mane seems to be loving life at Bayern. He underappreciated at Anfield? That's a whole other show, that Dan. But for me, I think he was. Not by our fans, but in terms of not renewing the contract. For me, I would have loved to have seen Mane stay at the football club. But that's a whole different kettle of fish, really, anyway, Dan, for another show, for another night. Yeah, be open with a mind shut. Yeah, it's still what, 2 months to go. Plenty of time, as Dan said there. But we'll move on to the Gareth Bale story now as well, everyone. Do you know who will be the number 10? Daz, at the minute, I think from the club officials or from what I'm reading from what the club is putting out, we haven't announced Carvalho signing officially due to the fact of potentially giving him the number 10 shirt. But watch this space, Dan. I think we could see Carvalho get that number 10 shirt. That's why we haven't, we've announced the signing, but haven't officially given him a number at the club anyway. So Daz has said, I think he will be getting a number 10 shirt. Carvalho, would you like that, Daz, as well? But we'll go on to the next story now as well, everyone. Gareth Bale will be absolutely bloody made up for this. In reality, as you can see there, Gareth Bale joins Los Angeles FC. Christ, David Beckham and the boys getting the band together there. So it's looking like Gareth Bale set to join board from Fabrizio Romano on a free transfer. Here we go. Follow Tom Burt for the scoops, the American journalist. It's confirmed. Bale leaves European football to try a new MLS experience, where he comes on with a golf club and uses that to whack the ball into the top bins anyway. Agreement in place for the Welshman to go to America. Contract will be valid until June 2023 as Bale follows Chiellini at LAFC as well. We've all known the MLS is a retirement home for the elite level, the back end of players going to the career. That's been for the last 20, 30 odd years. I really thought that Bale, chat, let me know, would have went to another European club. But at the end of the day, he has won every single accolade that is at his disposal at the football club anyway, in terms of club level, European Cups, league titles as well. Didn't quite win the league title in the Premier League, but he is 100%. Would you class him as Britain's best export in terms of players that have gone abroad and really established themselves in Europe? For me, in terms of European success as well, and what he's done for Real Madrid, I know he's very undervalued at Real Madrid, but for me, outside of exporting him to Europe as well, for me, he's got to be up there. Let me know your thoughts as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on that news story as well, everyone. Absolute bloody legends. Let's quickly move that over there. Apologies. I've read that one. Kenneth, Chelsea wouldn't be that stupid to sign such a mug as well. Thank you very much for your comment, Kenneth, as well. Don't know if you're a Chelsea fan or whatnot. Let me know what team you support, mate. Hope you're having a good night. Appreciate you tuning in. Daz, I reckon Núñez will get it next season. It will be empty this season, though. Bale, just looking at the bloody hell, Gary. Now, I thought you were going to say the Mackies as well. I've never been to America, but that's one thing they say about the McDonald's or like food portions in America are a lot bigger anyway, aren't they? So, just a money move to end his career. Fair play to Gareth Bale, Mark, innit, mate? And I think obviously, as I said, he's won everything as he possibly can at a club level. He wants to experience all the amazing golf courses in America. Loves the spot of golf. And I was speaking to Connor and certain Welsh fans as well that I know potentially thinking that he could have moved to Cardiff in reality. But as I said, he'd want to move to the States. And he'd probably be walking around like Los Angeles and people wouldn't even have a clue who Gareth Bale is. And obviously, if you're walking around Madrid or walking around the UK anywhere, everyone knows who you are. But America's that big. You won't even have a clue where Gareth Bale is, certain fans. No doubt Bale is excellent, but would have been more appreciated in the Prem. 100% agree with you there, Steve. It's a bit mad in reality, isn't it, that he's had certain better careers than certain players that play for Real Madrid as well. But yeah, we'll go on to, obviously, the next story now as well, everyone. We'll be speaking. When is it? About the two main ones. I'm really intrigued on what all of you think about this story, everyone. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Kalvin Phillips has, over the last 48 hours, it's been quite heavily publicised. Kalvin Phillips has already reached an agreement with Manchester City on personal terms, as he's turned down other clubs to work under Pep. Here we go. Man City will pay 42 million overall deal, close to 50 million with add-ons. Leeds have accepted, as reported by David Ornstein. But let me know your thoughts on that, everyone. How you doing, Zuki? Absolute bloody legend. Hope you're looking after yourself, mate. But let me know your thoughts on this, everyone. As I said at the top of the show, City are looking to replace Fernandinho. Obviously, he's been at the club for a very long time, and it was quite heavily publicised over the last 12 months. He would be not signing a new contract. But I've seen a lot of non-top six teams, especially on social media, fans saying that a lot of the top six teams are more or less cherry picking a lot of, if not the top talent within 6 downwards or 7 downwards, really, within the Premier League. Seeing Rafinha, I don't know why he'd go to Arsenal, but it looks like he's going to Arsenal. Got all the picks, but don't we start on that deal. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus going, wanting to be the main man at Arsenal if he does get that move as well. Be a good move for him personally, but in terms of, I thought he would have at least gone to Spurs, or surprised even Chelsea aren't going in for Gabriel Jesus. I think he would have complemented their attacking line much better than, say, for example, a Timo Werner or Lukaku anyway. But watch the space. But I'll tell you what, Kalvin Phillips, he's probably up there with, obviously, if you want to buy into the England hype, I don't sit there and watch England games, but when we got to the final and the semi-final, he's one of those top elite level performers, and it'll be interesting under the guidance of Pep Guardiola what he will do to this lad. Obviously, he's Kalvin Phillips. One of Kalvin Phillips' biggest supporters was his grandma. A couple of years ago, she sadly did pass away, but he's a lad with a lot of talent, and hopefully, it'll be intriguing to see how his development does go at Manchester City, because we did see, was it 5, 6, 10 years ago or 8 years ago when Man City did buy a certain Jack Rodwell, and we never seen the light of day of him ever again. And where is he even at? Sunderland, or probably playing in America or something stupid now, innit? But let me know your thoughts on this Kalvin Phillips news anyway. I think they've got him on the cheap. 50 odd million for Kalvin Phillips, especially when you are looking in and around Declan Rice, how much he is getting publicised to be potentially getting linked with a lot of clubs in and around Europe and in and around the Premier League as well. When you're getting Rice touted at 100, 150 odd million, supposedly what West Ham wants, but a lot of Mohammed's mates can understand where they're coming from, because he is their main man, Declan Rice. And they are hoping in the long term, if he was to leave, Declan Rice, that he would go to, say, i.e. a City. Probably won't be the case now because Kalvin Phillips is going to City, or potential move to Liverpool, because they just don't want him. New West Ham mates don't want Declan Rice going to Manchester United and just stumping his development as a player as well, because he is Mr. West Ham as well. So interesting times. But Kalvin Phillips, great signing for City, because I think he's a talented player. 50 million, bargain. But I can understand where a lot of teams outside the top six are talking about big teams, even Liverpool and City, and likes of our Tottenham, Arsenal as well, more or less packing their squads full. But it's always been the case on the chat as well. Let me know your thoughts. Wants the sun and the high life as well. Don't blame Gareth, do we, Mark? It'd be lovely if we were getting paid for $100,000 a week to play some golf as well. Wouldn't surprise me if we see Gareth Bale as a celebrity undercard on the PGA Tour when it's like mid-season in the MLS. I don't rate Phillips is from Eamon that highly. Apologies, everyone. He's a good player. That's about it for me as well. Eamon's 100%, mate. We'll see a lot more of an Eamon's for me personally. I think it'd be interesting to see what Pep would do, or even a Jurgen Klopp if he him going to Manchester City, but with a better manager. No disrespect to obviously American, in which they have got in charge that now at Leeds, but he's got to say a massive thank you to Marcel Bielsa anyway, the Argentinian manager. Phillips, if it wasn't for Bielsa, you wouldn't be getting his move to Manchester City by the looks of it. So let me know your thoughts on that. As Steve said, small fish in a big pond may be good for his development, but can't see him being a regular for Manchester City as well, Steve. Saying that, Steve, and chat, everyone. City's second team could probably win the Premier League. It's that good. Like, that's what Liverpool and a lot of the teams in and around us are competing with. But sometimes, as Liverpool have already this window, you just need to, if you can't beat them, join them in reality. And we've went big ourselves in Nunes, and hopefully we will do in the next couple of months prior to this transfer window shutting. The player does, if City say, i.e., buy another player, a big player, I'm pretty sure Liverpool will react in the right manner and bring in more quality into the team. Absolutely, Mark, he'll be getting the money and the higher life there, mate. But as Daz has said, he's also agreeing with what the lads have said in the chat as well. Yeah, Daz doesn't really rate Phillips, but I think he should go to the World Cup as well. Interesting there, Daz. A lot of you's not rating Kalvin Phillips. For me, I do rate him, but I understand where you're coming from in terms of his game. But it'd be interesting. Game time is the massive key point in it. Obviously, if City are going far in the FA Cup and the League Cup when they get getting League One teams in the semi-final. Typical City, and it's easy to win the League Cup every single season when you're not playing a top tier Premier League team anyway. So yeah, we move. And finally, everyone, before we do conclude, the big before I do die, before the end of this stream, apologies everyone, would over have some water. But let me know your thoughts if you are watching on the repeat. Let me know your thoughts on Kalvin Phillips going to Manchester City. Gareth Bale, do you think he'll have the impact, or do you see Gareth Bale playing a decent round of golf on the PGA Tour in a certain week within next season as well? And Taki To Monaco more or less getting confirmed by the Monaco president. As I said, more or less 100% green lighting the deal to the French club anyway. And then we'll go on to the final news story now as well, everyone. Thank you to every single one of you that is continuing to tune in. We're all watching on the repeat, looking after yourselves as well, and really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, you've had a good weekend anyway. And just listen to the last final news story now. As I said, this broke about 7:05. So about 2 hours ago, 2 and a bit hours ago anyway. And I can zoom in there. If it lets me. I know I've done the wrong application, McKindo. Well done. There we go. As I say, everyone, coming from David Edwardstein from The Athletic. Todd Bodley met George Mendes in Portugal last week, discussing the idea of Ronaldo to Chelsea among subjects discussed. Unclear if Chelsea will pursue Cristiano Ronaldo. Man United expect him to stay. 37-year-old, loves Manchester United, but has concerns with obviously his playing time and recruitment as well. This would be massive for Chelsea Football Club if they could get a player of that stature. Replacing Lukaku, I think it'd be 100%, million% improvement on Romelu Lukaku. One thing would be the case of who would Chelsea continue to bring in off the back. There has been rumours, links with Ousmane Dembele. I think his contract does end in, I think it's next week or the week after. So he's a free agent very soon. The Frenchman obviously has been playing his trade at Barcelona the last couple of years anyway. Prior to that, he was getting his move to Barcelona for 140 odd million from when he was playing at Borussia Dortmund anyway. And lo and behold, the manager at that time was a fella called Thomas Tuchel. So if you dot the T's, cross the I's or whatnot, it all makes sense. Chelsea will eventually get Dembele in whether that be next week or the week after. And but the one thing Ronaldo is not happy with Manchester United is that they're not signing enough players. Lord behold, Christ. It's not like Man United to go out and sign big players, is it? So let me know your thoughts on this, everyone. Ronaldo, is he throwing his toys out with the pram? Probably. For me, if I was Ronaldo, I wouldn't stay at Man United because you're not going to win anything really. And why waste the latter stages of your career at Manchester United? If you're Ronaldo, with all of his Ronaldo, you want to go to a club that is at least competing or hoping to be doing well in Europe anyway. And Manchester United are not going to be doing any of that in any recent times anyway. So let me know your thoughts on that, everyone. Interesting times. I think this won't be the last time we see that rumour anyway, or that won't be the last time we do see that news article cropping up in the next week anyway. But as Steve said there, I've read that one, Steve. Thank you for your comment, mate, as well. But as Eamon said there, nobody is going to pay Ronaldo's wages. He will stay at Manchester United for his last year. Has he got a year left on his contract, Eamon? That's interesting. If he has got a year left, as he said, I think he will stay out his contract and probably will get a lot more if he potentially, as we spoke about at the top of the show, if a PSG did come in for him. Because I know, obviously, Mbappe, is he the president of PSG now or something stupid? He's in charge of something at PSG. I think he's in charge of the recruitment of the new manager. Or obviously, they're getting a new Lille or the old Lille or old Nice manager, whoever it is. Anyway, he's got a good good rapport in French football. Anyway, he's won a couple of league titles, a new PSG manager anyway. So let me know your thoughts on all today's stories as well, everyone. And thank you to every single one of you that is tuned in on tonight's episode. As I said, we'll be continuing to go out live at 9 p.m. every single night as well. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow and enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Thank you to every single one, as I said, for tuning in. We spoke about Taki To Monaco going to Monaco, more or less. That's getting green lighted. Ronaldo potentially going to Chelsea. Bit of a mad one, but let me know your thoughts on that. Could you see that happening? Gareth Bale going to Los Angeles FC with him and David Beckham and the boys, and Chiellini moving there as well, and Kalvin Phillips getting his move to Manchester City for a £50 million fee, replacing Fernandinho going into this next season anyway. But cheers for the show, Jack. Thank you very much, Tom, as well. But most importantly, thank you to every single one of you that does continue to support the channel, tunes in every single bloody night as well, watches on the repeat. Will you try and get Jamie? Yeah, 100% does. 100%, mate. I know Jay's been very busy. He's been absolutely smashing the YouTube game. One of my very close mates as well, Daz as well. Well, thank you, Daz, for tuning in. A couple of new faces as well. But as I said, big up Jamie Phillips football channel as well. We'll be leaving a link in the description as well. So please do head over to Jay. He's very close to 2,000. So get Jay to 2,000. Most importantly, but we're all one big community on YouTube as well. I'm more intrigued about hearing your thoughts as well. Cheers for that, Steve. Cheers, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. And hopefully try and get a couple of guests on as well if anyone's free. But see you later, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.